So welcome, folks. My name is Grace Hope. I use they, them pronouns. I'm down here in Tacoma. I'm on the ancestral lands of the Puyallup tribe and the Coast Salish peoples. I'm a staff member of 350 Seattle. I'm so glad to be here with y'all tonight, hosting our first ever open mic, The Green Room with 350 Seattle, along with my comrade Renaissance and a really awesome crew we've got here tonight. Renaissance, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself as well.
Good evening, and welcome to the Green Room Open Mic. Everybody thinks I do a podcast. What's up, y'all? If this is your first time meeting me, I'm Renaissance. The pronouns that I use are he and him. I am the campaign director at 350 Seattle, work alongside Grace.
On the MLK.
And we've been doing the Healthy Through Heat and Smoke stuff together. I'm looking at getting into some of the cat stuff. And I'm chiming in from the ancestral lands of the Duwamish, Suquamish, Stillaguamish, Snohomish, Muckleshoot, Tulalip, Puyallup, and Coast Salish peoples. And they're still here to this day. What else? Fun fact about me. Once I walked across the country, and maybe y'all can ask me questions about that later.
That's a pretty great story. I'm familiar with that one.
These boots are made for walking.
All right, folks. Cool. So why are we here? We're here for the Green Room open mic. We're so excited to be here. It's kind of interesting to create an open mic space for a climate organizing, climate justice community, because what is a climate expression? What is climate art? What do we even bring to this space? Well, I think we're about to find out. We also know that we work and organize really, really hard together. And it's so vital to create spaces where we just express, we play, and we are a community with one another. And so we're here to have a really good time. And I'm just going to very briefly walk us through our community agreements. I think I've got my screen needs to be a little bit wider. There we go. So if you're excited to share with us tonight, we're excited for you to share as well. And we have some requirements that your content is not harmful or inappropriate. So please commit that your content does not contain intentionally defaming or harmful language or material, or perpetuate forms of oppression like anti-Blackness, homophobia, ableism, sexism, xenophobia, racism, ageism, classism, etc. These are things we really care about, and so we want to name that in this space right here together. And then I think before we get rolling any further, we just want to share with folks just a teeny bit around what is Healthy Through Heat and Smoke? What are we all about? What are we doing? And I think first we'll name that we are working, 350 Seattle is working along a lot of really fabulous community partners. Emily is going to be dropping a link in the chat for our full community endorsement letter, so folks can see the whole list of organizations that have signed on to our Green New Deal campaign, Healthy Through Heat and Smoke. We're really, really excited to be partnering with so many great organizations, all working together for, what are we working for? Investments through the Seattle Parks Levy. We're excited to be upgrading Seattle's community centers so that we can have some climate resilient hubs with clean energy. We want to make sure we're prioritizing community centers that are most impacted by wildfire smoke, by heat domes, and by environmental pollution first. We want to do this in a way that creates green local union jobs. And we'd like to see all of our community centers upgraded by 2035. So that's what Healthy Through Heat and Smoke is about. And then before we go too much further, we're actually going to just take a little moment. I'm going to come off of screen share because I want to take a moment and introduce one of our special presenters tonight, Hannah. Hannah's going to be sharing a little bit around why she's involved with Healthy Through Heat and Smoke. So Hannah, go ahead if you're ready. So excited. Hannah is also one of the organizers of the Green Room event with us tonight as well. Might just take Hannah a moment to unmute and come off, but that's fine. I know she's got some notes prepared and she's really excited to share. And thank you, Emily, for dropping in the chat our community support letter. Go for it, Hannah.
Yeah, my Zoom was getting a little bit annoying, as it is prone to do. But I have a little bit of a welcome type of announcement. So hello, my name is Hannah. I'm 16 years old, in 11th grade at Summit Atlas High School. I've been organizing since I was 14, and I've been involved with the Healthy Through Heat and Smoke campaign since April of this year. And the reason I got involved is because I, along with everyone else in the city, have been living through climate disasters in the form of extreme heat and wildfire smoke every summer for a lot of my life. As an organizer, I've seen my friends in political and mutual aid groups having to work around the clock to keep our communities safe because the city doesn't. As a young person, I fear for my friends and family.
Oh, the issues of being on Zoom.
Hopefully we get Hannah back in just a moment. But we can be patient.
Are you back, Hannah? Where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? Where's Hannah? We're really missing Hannah because the Zoom is found in Banner. I just made up a word. That's nillogism. While we're waiting, yep, Hannah may pop back up. We'll go right back into that, but sliding back up a little bit to some of the agreements that we were forming when we were thinking about the agreements that we have for the space. What we wanted to do was try to make it as open and as accessible for everybody as possible. We wanted people to. It's really difficult to create a safe space, and how do you call it a safe space, and especially like at an open mic, how do you prepare for that? And so basically what we were thinking was like just with some general agreements for how we interact with one another. And maybe some folks at some of these open mics, it'll be the first time that we've ever seen them. So that was how we came up with that. I hope that everybody's feeling okay about that since everybody's here. I really hope Hannah can come back in because Hannah has a dope story.
Hey, while we're waiting for Hannah, maybe we'll just invite everybody, if you've been a part of Healthy Through Heat and Smoke, if you've been engaged at all as a volunteer or an advocate or organizer, go ahead and come off of mute and make some noise because our community has a lot to celebrate. We are weeks away from the end of this campaign and we've been working really, really hard together. So maybe I'll just count down from 5 and we'll do a cheer together if folks want to come off of mute. And you can even come on camera if you want to. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's so strange to do these things on Zoom because like we've been working really, really hard together on Zoom, through email, and in real life. A little bit of everything. Well, what do you think, Renaissance? Shall we keep waiting for Hannah? Do we want to
I let Hannah know that we'll come back because
Okay.
I think Hannah's story is important, and we'll just move the show, forward. And then when Hannah's back and the connection is stable, then we'll let Hannah share. Is everybody okay with that?
That sounds great to me. Awesome.
I don't know. I just saw somebody pop on. So we were kind of thinking, like, how do we do an open mic on on Zoom? What does that kind of like mean? And, you know, I grew up doing open mics in front of a bunch of people and peeing my pants and losing my voice on stage and whatnot. And I immediately got taught like, yo, you snap. And I kind of think that when I was first learning how to do spoken word slam stuff, I didn't know how to snap. And now I can do a whole bunch of it. But that was what we used to do to let people know that we were excited. The unfortunate part about being on Zoom is that like there's one mic and everybody goes into the same mic and it's not the same as the crowd doing it. So we're kind of hoping like emojis coming up. You know, you can find whatever's cool, dropping stuff in the chat. You know, put down the name of the person that you're applauding, because I'm sure the chat's going to get quite full. But we're thinking that's a great way to show and share energy in the space. Some folks are gonna, this might be their first time on a mic, maybe they're sharing a new piece, maybe it's a new genre, maybe they've never done it before, and this is a great place to try that out, and they want to, you know, that feedback is great. Hannah.
Welcome back, Hannah.
Hello, I'm back, hopefully on a better computer.
I think the last thing that we heard was as a young person.
Okay, great. So not too much. Is my audio okay for now?
It should be, yeah.
Yeah. I might just start from the beginning because I was probably getting fairly palsy. So, hi, my name is Hannah. I think you all heard that part. I've been involved in this campaign since April of this year. And the reason I got involved is because I, along with everyone else in the city, have been living through climate disasters in the form of extreme heat and wildfire smoke most summers for a lot of my life. As an organizer, I've seen my friends in political and mutual aid groups having to work around the clock to keep our community safe because the city so far has not. As a young person, I've feared for my friends and family living close to the fires or with health conditions making them more vulnerable to the dangerous air quality. And I know that this will continue to be my reality, our reality, as long as our political leaders will continue to choose short-term profit over climate justice. And as an artist, my experiences with all of this have given me a lot of stories to tell. And that's what tonight is for, telling our stories and hearing each other's. So welcome to the green room.
Yeah, thank you, Hannah, for welcoming us. We're so glad you're back. Great reception and super excited to hear what you're going to share with us later too. All right, are y'all ready to start get rolling into like some performances and some art and like some stuff? Maybe a little bit. Yeah, okay, cool. As Renaissance said, we welcome folks to like, yeah, Julia, clap emojis, things in the chat, wave, come on camera, whatever you want to, as we're encouraging each other on. We'll do it in ways that don't take over the microphone, but we'll, yeah, give each other some awesome energy. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Renaissance to warm up the microphone and get it ready for all of our performers tonight. Renaissance is going to be sharing with us a piece. And Renaissance, you can introduce the piece if you'd like to, or you can dive into it. You can share what it means to you. It's all yours. Take it away, Renaissance.
Word up. And then after the performance, let's give this a try. But you know, you can come off a mute and you can share applause, we can clap, we can do whatever after it goes. I said earlier that I'd walked across the country. Now, the most important thing about that story is when I came back. And I was 19 years old and I was strung out on a whole bunch of dope and I was getting sober. And I dropped into this teen youth center called Orion. It was in a different location than it is now. It's downtown Seattle. And I met this person named Rice Yoba who was teaching hip hop. And I was like, okay, I'm a rapper. You know, I had done all of that, but I had grown up with like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and Eazy-E and NWA and it was all F-bombs this and B-words that and selling dope this. And those things were kind of true. You know, I heard in the songs, don't just talk about it, be about it. So I went in and tried to do all of that stuff. And I did it kind of good. But, you know, I didn't follow Biggie's premise. I didn't follow his outline. Don't get high on your own supply. And that was definitely happening to me a whole lot. So at 19 years old, I was strung out and doped out, and I started getting clean. And I meet Rice teaching us hip hop, and he started introducing me to people like KRS-One, Talib Kweli, Most Def, who's like one of my favorite MCs of all time. And all of a sudden, I got to see something that, like, all that poetry that I started writing when I was locked up and I was hiding under my mattress so none of my boys would see it because it was too soft, it was too real, it was too vulnerable. Like, that was the stuff that was in their hip hop songs. And I was like, whoa, that can be masculine in hip hop and I can do a good job. And then they introduced me to slam poetry in a movie called Slam, where Saul Williams performed. And this piece called Cliffs, I wrote at Cafe on the Ave while I was sleeping in the shelters, getting off of the dope. And it's the very first slam piece that I ever wrote about 20 years ago. Shockwave, dynamic transistor disposition. My configuration is an audio-visual compilation. My conjunction is that fork in the road sensation, forming a transformation of my obligation to my survival's distillation. Oh, how bland is each part of H2O alone, but together they form a constellation. The twins, simultaneous universal stipulations which keep my psyche focused on those drastic presentations before me, leaving no time for hesitations as the ground is vanishing from beneath my feet in revelations. I see rifts in time, cliffs they be, oblique, enchanting and mystique, and deathly cold winds cut my bones as these visions come aflame inside me. No death, no life. It's only emptiness inside, it's fear, it's plight, it's war. So I fight, I fall to die, I soar the sky. No need to cry beyond why I try to make something, anything out of this nothingness. I see no end, and yet here it is. I stand on land again with the horizon off in the distance and the sun's warmth landing upon my skin. I cry, retribution! My translation is purification, and gratification is now dancing from my heart towards all creation. You see, a teacher's lesson was taught when it was wisdom that I sought. So please peep this, because here's what I got. As I rely on others, they rely on me. But when I fall, so shall they. This is what I see. This lesson did not come cheap. I haven't will heavily reap and coarsely weep as I succumb myself to the valleys approaching this next peak, where I will meet another teacher with another lesson and even deeper wisdom. But if I ever run into that same cliff again, then I will be able to call upon my teacher's wisdom, that my decisions will affect the people around me. And those are my cliffs.
Woo! Okay. Come off of mute and make some noise if you want to, friends.
That was great.
Yes.
What a
Wow.
start.
Thank you, Renaissance.
Hello, Renaissance.
Hmm.
Wow, Renaissance. Thank you. Thank you for kicking off our stage with something so powerful. Okay. All right. Now I'd really like to welcome to the microphone Peter Hasegawa. We're so glad that you're here with us tonight. We're super excited for your share. We welcome you to introduce yourself. You can share with us about what you want to share, or you can just share it. It's all yours. Go for it, Peter.
Thank you, Grace. I mean, I was literally thinking in my mind, like, oh man, what a tough act to follow. I feel really bad for whoever has to go after Renaissance. I just wanted to share with you a little story about my experience through the heat dome and the smoke event the year prior. I still consider myself a new parent. I have 2 kids. My older son's name is Kyoto. We named him after a city that we love to visit. And my younger son, and Kyoto's 4, and my younger son, Rowan, is 1. And I love them more than anything in the world. I remember the day my son was born, but the day that Kyoto was born was definitely the best day of my life. And I remember, I don't know why I was worried. We never got any like troubling news or bad news, but I just remember being so like worried during my wife's pregnancy and feeling just this mix of like joy, but also relief when he was born that he was okay. Um, and and you know, his first year, you know, he's like a healthy, thriving kid. So that's like context. But his first year, I remember being like hyper vigilant and aware, and just wanting to just make sure he was okay and like didn't get hurt. And we live in a very we live in an old house, and it's not very child friendly. So just being really alert to that. And so he was between 2 and 3 the year of the heat dome. And our house is about 100 years old. It's actually a floating home on Lake Union. And it's very small. It's under 500 square feet. And we definitely don't have air conditioning. And, you know, it was during the pandemic. And so there really weren't great indoor options available for us. And so I just remember when the smoke started to come, and it was also really hot, you know, just thinking like, we're going to be stuck inside this little house with this kid who really wants to be outside playing, but, you know, and I remember like, I had never lived anywhere where we had, you know, a color coded system for how much smoke there was. And I just, you know, it was like a yellow day, you know, the scale is like, and you probably all remember this if you lived here, it's like green, yellow, red, and then above red, there was purple. And so, you know, we had like yellow day, then red day, and then right away, we just had like purple day after purple day. And what we actually did was we hopped a flight, and I have a best friend who I grew up with who lives in Chicago, and I called him and I said, you know, we got to get out of here. Like, can we come stay with you? And he said, yeah. And so we spent those days like outside of Seattle, and then during the heat dome, it was right after my second son Rowan had been born, and he was still just a few weeks, well, I think he was like 2 weeks old or something like that. Same setup, small house, no air conditioning. And I remember sort of like the merciless blue sky, you know, just kind of cloudless blue sky and the intense heat. And we have 2 cats, and they figured out that we have a hearth, and they were just like sprawled out on this hearth, and because it was the coolest place in the house. And I was just like, we gotta go again. And so this time we got a hotel room with air conditioning. We had to find shelter for the cats, and I think air conditioning sheltered for the cats. And I just remember like, and I think I'm always gonna remember just feeling like a mix of like so much like stress and anxiety, like, you know, and being worried like, you know, we gotta like find a hotel room with AC, and we gotta get one before like other people get them all, because, you know, other people are gonna figure out that they need AC too, and then they're gonna run out, and like we're gonna be stuck. And, you know, we've got this tiny little baby, and he can't be here in our house because it's too hot for him. And like, you know, like, he could, you know, he could get really hurt, or like he could die just by being in our house. And it was really the first time that I took the climate crisis personally. And I was so angry at like fossil fuel executives who sort of like lied to us, and, you know, pretended like this wasn't real. And I just felt like so angry and vulnerable. So anyway, sorry to be sorry to be a downer, but, you know, honestly, like that's what my experience was. And just like being like really afraid and just not being certain that I could like take care of my kid. So, and I really, you know, like I really like don't like the story, but I really want to share it because, you know, like I've always considered myself just like able to, you know, travel and deal with the challenges of the world, but you know, like my circumstances changed, and like I had this kid, and you know, we weren't so invulnerable. My, you know, my spouse and I, we weren't so invulnerable anymore, and so yeah, I really, I'm really proud of the work that we're all doing together, and I really appreciate it. That's what I'm going to share. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, sending lots of love. Folks, share words in the chat or off of mute. Support for Peter, and thanks for sharing your story, Peter. Welcome.
That was
Yeah,
deep.
yeah, yeah. A big story. I want to
You-
say,
you-
well, oh, go ahead, Renaissance.
I was just gonna say, Peter, you're getting lots of love in the chat.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're seeing it.
yeah. Thank you, Peter. And yeah, really proud to be doing this work with you all too. Next, I'm really excited to hand it over to Ruba. Ruba, if you're ready to go, we're so excited to have you here with us, and would welcome you to introduce yourself and share with us whatever you're excited to share, even if you want to share about what you're sharing or tell us some of the story or context. We'd love to hear that as well. Welcome.
Hey everyone. Shout out to Grace and Ren for holding this space for everybody. And I'm glad to be here to be a part of this community. I will be sharing a poem. This is my first time doing it, so bear with me. I'm so nervous. But again, sending lots of love, Patrick. Thank you so much for sharing your truth. I don't know if you guys have heard, but I'm from Pakistan and Kashmir. So this is literally like what my people are going through right now in Pakistan back home. There's like floods and thousands of people have died and millions are homeless. And 1/3 of my country is like flooded. So you know, climate change is real and it's deadly. I mean, the consequences are deadly, and it's just unfortunate that people put profit over people. So, you know, it's just fucked up. So this poem that I will be sharing is kind of like similar to that, like navigating this journey in the white man's world and taking back my autonomy, my power. I wrote this a few months ago. It was like a response to like a lot of racism that I was going through, that I still go through today. I mean, today I was like pulled out of work and was told that I was intimidating my white coworker. And when I talked to her, and it's just like, she was, yeah, it was just something. And we had a conversation, and literally like, she told me like, oh, she didn't even feel like nothing. And it was like, okay, whatever. But behind my back, it's like, the white folks, my white coworkers are like, oh, she's so intimidating. She's so this, she's so that. It's just because I'm loud and brown. Like, that don't even make sense. But anyways, you know, that's just their white fragility. And I'm trying to not take that, you know, personal, and just realize that's just how people are. And I just got to accept that reality, you know? So yeah, I mean, let's get into it. Okay, I'm just breathing. Okay. Navigating this ship, it's a white man's trip, nothing within my grip, silently speaking lip to lip, emotions within all slip, my heartbeat rapidly skip. I reminisce the past as I feel insecure and attacked, still don't know what I lack. These whites and wannabes continue to extract me and my energy. I feel so trapped. This drive to set me back, unwrapped. They say this, the land of the free, yet living here so oppressive to my needs and my seeds. I pray for an end to my tears and my fears. Still find it so hard to find my purpose as these systems restrain my abilities to breathe, be divine, safe, and create. They say creativity is an ideal. My eyes must gaze down, presence repeal. My legs, mouth, mind shut with a seal. My ears should only function to take their commands, my hand to complete their task, my brain to assimilate to their social orders. I pause and I wake up, realize I'm falling down like the others, blending into the crowd. I resist my way out of these shackles, fight against the corporate monsters, taking back my autonomy ship. I tell myself as I recover and heal, you are the sailor. Take back the steering wheel. Remember, this is your trip. You must not lose to the order. Inhale, exhale, and repeat. This is your time to be divine. Now I listen to my heart that only knows love, lives for love, and lives to die for love. This piece is called Taking Back My Power. Thank you.
Let's make some noise.
That was terrific.
Woo. Lives to die for
Lovely.
love. Whew. I've got tears in my eyes. Ruba, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I mean, I shouldn't have unmuted to wait till I was ready to talk.
Nah, it's good.
What a powerful night. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing.
Right, you got lots of love in the thread there, Ruba. Hoping you're checking that out.
Mhm.
I saw somebody put a hand up in the middle. I thought it was Katie. Was that just an applause or were you trying to jump in? Okay. Should we move over to our next
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you want to go for it, Randy?
performer? Sure. Well, next up on the mic, this is going to be lovely. Hannah, if you're ready and you can introduce how you'd like and share with everybody.
Yeah. So this is a poem that I have not performed yet. So it's gonna be my first time performing it. But I wrote it, I think like less than a year ago, but it was inspired by the wildfires last summer, which is definitely a theme for a lot of my work actually. And it was also inspired by a trip to Portland where I visited my cousins who I had texted a lot with in the during the wildfire and heat waves. And I started thinking I was like just hanging out. I was hanging out with my little cousins and I started thinking like just about what kind of world they're going to be growing up in, and if I decide to have kids, what kind of world they would be growing up in. And I wrote this poem and I actually did read it to my cousin, but it's one of the ones that I think most captures what I was feeling in that moment. This is titled If I Have a Daughter. I'll walk with her to the water, carry her, hold her hand all the way out of Eden, out of hell to something new beyond the fires, to the north, the south. I want the world. If I have to raise her on ashes and sing her to sleep with sirens, I will give her the world and teach her to strive for something only her great, great, great times 10, 20 grandparents knew. Tuck the last flowers warm from the earth into her braids. I will tell her stories about the stars, even if we can only see them in pictures, and in the winter far from the cities. Last week, SJ sent me a photo of her baby girl, her smile and pink roller skates, not telling that she's been fighting all her 6-year-old life too. A war in her city, a war under her skin. We all burn nowadays, and so I will sign the papers with a name that she can wear like the most beautiful dress, like armor that she will make mean something. She'll want the world. If all that's left for her is fire, I will wrap her in it like a blanket, teach her to strike matches against her teeth. I will hold her all night long as the sky fades. I'll give her the world, and maybe she'll learn to dance in the dust, but she will dance us all down.
Whew, whew. Let's make some noise for Hannah. Give Hannah some love in the chat.
Yes,
Woo,
yes.
woo.
I will teach her to strike matches against her teeth. Dope.
So powerful. So powerful. Hannah, thank you for sharing. Thanks for being part of this. Yeah, look at all this love in the chat.
I found out that I was chatting to the waiting room, so nobody was seeing all of my applause. Rookie error.
Yeah, whew, so powerful. Thank you, Hannah. And folks, as we're going tonight, if you're like, oh, I have a picture that I painted or a poem that I wrote or a story I want to share, if you're feeling really inspired and want to hop in and share with us tonight, let Emily Hazelton know in the chat. We're happy to get you added in. I'm really excited to hand it over to Nicole Grant now. Nicole is going to be sharing something pretty fun with us that I'm pretty darn excited about. Nicole, we're happy to have you here. Go ahead and introduce yourself and maybe share anything you want to share about your offering and your offering.
Thank you, Grace. Happy to be with everybody tonight. Nicole Grant, she, her pronouns. I'm Seattle-based on Duwamish and Coast Salish lands. And I wanted to perform for you tonight a makeup tutorial in the spirit of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And do you want the aubergine lip, which is like vampy purple? So please vote, and I'll get in that chat and give you what you're looking for. Let's see, purple, purple, red, red, red. Hold up. Looks like I got 3 reds and 2 purples. Sounds like red wins. All right. So we're always on the Zoom. I don't know if you feel the compulsion, like you're looking in the mirror and you want to do weird stuff when you're on the Zoom, but it happens to be all the time. I'm like, act normal. Okay. So one of the things I'm going to chat about while I'm doing this face, which because it's the red face, is going to be my 5-minute power woman work face. This is something I would try to bust out if I was in a real life meeting with a politician talking about healthy through heat and smoke. And I also want to take a minute and talk about like some things I love while we're together. So I'm going to start this process with Queen Care unscented cream. This is so like yummy and creamy. And it is a Black-owned business in Seattle with their shop right by my house. And this is like mostly aloe vera and like shea butter. And it is like super, super creamy, hydrating goodness. And it's gonna make this makeup stick to my face. So that's what I'm really about here. Okay. So here's the first thing I want to talk about is like, yes things. You know, everything's such a bummer these days. I'm like, what's yes though? What's good? So I'm gonna start by introducing like a little concept to this conversation. Free them all. So think about free them all while I put on this Makeup Forever matte red. I mean, like, all right, why wait, right? Like, that's all about the lip. I just feel like since we're in America and like this is like a country with a bad history, a slavery history, that if we're gonna do what's good in climate, we gotta do what's good in the country and be abolitionists. And so when I think about free them all, I just think about like what would make this country good, like what's at the heart of it, and like what could give people like freedom. Okay, lips in place. Now we need some drama on these eyes. And I think I'm gonna start, this is the same brand, Makeup Forever, I really like it, it's French. And fill in all the bald spots on my eyebrows. So like, get that like Marilyn Monroe eyebrow with no clear patches, you know? And take a minute to think about like being a worker and like what it's like out there when you're making your money and facing oppression. And one of the things that I think about is how much like my union did for me, you know, because I was a woman construction worker, and my union like protected me and made it so I can make the same money per hour as a man. And even though it wasn't all like smiles and fun, it was like something I could count on. And this is a gray, by the way. And then I do a gray brown eye, half gray, half brown. Like always looks dope. And I just see like all the workers from Starbucks, the workers like at the Magic store in Seattle where they sell Magic the Gathering cards, the workers at like Crossroads where you could like shop for vintage. They're all joining unions. And it's just like, no, it's a yes moment for unions. Everybody's doing it and getting that work power. So that's my second yes. Yes, free them all. Yes, unions for all. And as I finish it up here with my Smashbox palette, coming through with like a really, I don't like a really like exciting brown that's just nice and red. I want to think about like yes stuff about climate. I feel like healthy through heat and smoke is special to me because it's that. But I also think that when it comes to climate, we really can have everything we want. It's all yes fights out there. And the only thing that's standing in the way, you know, is that greed and selfishness of the fossil fuel companies. And we're here together as part of a global movement. We're going to overcome that stuff. And so whatever your yes style utopian dream is for climate resilience, like we're doing our little part right here together, making community. And then the very last thing I'm gonna say about makeup, it's just all about this brush. Like, this thing is so tickly and fresh, and if you don't have one, like, how do you even get through your day without stroking your face with a super soft ass brush? And so thank you for our time together. It was really special to me. I'm glad I got to be a makeup YouTuber for 5 minutes. Thanks.
Woohoo, Nicole, thank you. Let's give Nicole some love. Thanks for bringing something so awesome and unique and special to our time. I know 10 times more about makeup now than I did before this call. Wait, you're using so many different brushes. What is even happening? Wow. Yeah. And Devorah, I see that in the chat, all the yeses. What a powerful leader you are, Nicole. And we're so glad to have you here. Cool. All right. Well, we've got a couple of more. Yeah, same, Emily. A couple of more performers coming up. Renaissance, did you want to introduce our next performer?
I was just trying to check out Audio Poet. Audio Poet, are you here? Is it like a lot of us in the performance world, we've got these monikers, and that's the name that they wanted to go by. So I never learned another name, you know, and when we chime into Zoom, I don't know if Audio Poet's here, but we go way back to when I was doing stuff at the Cornerstones. So like we've been throwing bars at each other for like 20 years or so. Maybe he'll chime in a little bit later. He did say something about needing to go train a puppy, which is vital and important. You know, having the puppy go where the puppy is supposed to go and not like go where you sleep is an emergency type of situation. So like I get that. But unless somebody sees something that I'm not seeing, we'll just move right on ahead to Gary Cantor. I noticed that it says songs, and that's plural. So I would ask that we do one at a time so that we can, if we have time, we'll loop back around through the list. If that's okay. Gary, feel free to introduce and do what you came here to do.
Thank you. I'm really happy I got to participate in this. I feel like everybody's grandfather. And I'm just overjoyed to see people, younger folk, getting so involved. Young folk have had a really bad knock as far as being activists. So I just love it. I'm supposed to be in my golden years now. I thought I'd be retired and handing all this shit off. Unfortunately, I have 2 grandchildren now who I'm fighting for. So I don't see any relief in sight. And so, Nicole, I think I interviewed you on my radio show one time. I used to do a radio show called We Do the Work. And I think you were a guest, were you? Yes. Okay. It was called We Do the Work. It was out of Skagit County. And we ended it a couple of years ago, but I'm going to be bringing it back in a different version, probably in the fall sometime. So, and I'm a labor activist and a member of the Musicians Union and a delegate to the Snohomish and Island County Labor Council from the union. I play a lot of events. This Friday night, I'll be playing on behalf of April Berg and Mary Fossey up in Everett. And Mary's running to replace Mike Sells, who's the former Secretary Treasurer of the what used to be the Snohomish Labor Council until we added Island County, where I live. I'm on Camino. So I wasn't sure what to play tonight. I do a variety of songs. I do environmental songs. I do social justice songs. But I have a song here that I think might encapsulate what I'm feeling here tonight. And I apologize, I'm going to have to be leaving shortly after. But again, I want to thank you all for doing what you're doing and being who you are and making me feel a lot more hopeful about the future. Come on in. You're welcome here. Leave your worries. Leave your fear. Take a seat. Take a chair. Come on in. You're welcome here. You've been hurt. You've been tried. You've been all alone all those times you cried. You've been shunned, marginalized. Come on in, where you'll be prized. Come on in, you're welcome here. Leave your worries, leave your fear. Take a seat, take a chair. Come on in, you're welcome here. Don't look back, look ahead. Leave behind those ugly words that were said. You will find it's not that far from who you thought you had to be to who you are. Come on in, welcome here. Leave your worries, leave your fear. Take a seat, take a chair. Come on in. You're welcome here. Come on in. You're welcome here. Come on in. You're welcome here.
Woo, woo, woo.
Wow. Thank you.
Woo!
Yes.
Gary.
So powerful, Gary.
Thank
I
you.
am pleasantly surprised. I was like, I don't know what.
Why are you
I-
pleasantly surprised? Because of what I look like?
I'm just always surprised with songs, and I'm very particular about the kinds of music that I like.
Mhm.
Especially when it comes to the lyrics and the rhythm and the cadence. And then it opened up with "You're welcome here," and I was like, oh. And your voice and the tune and the cadence of it kind of like really drew me in a way that I wasn't expecting. So thank you.
Oh, Renaissance, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you. And
Gorgeous.
once again, I want to apologize for having to leave, but keep doing what you're doing. And if I can help anytime in the future, just let me know. That's what I do.
All right, Gary.
Take
Hey,
care.
hopefully we'll see you at the next Green Room open mic. We'd love to hear more of your work. So powerful. Thanks for being here, Gary.
Well, I think we're almost through our list. Now we had something worked in our agenda, and I want to check in with folks to find out how you're feeling. And what we had worked into our agenda was a break. If somebody like wanted to go run and grab a snack or hit the potty or something like that, or we could just go through the last two folks on our list and then maybe take a break. And if there's still time, then wrap through again if anybody else wants to perform again. So, but y'all tell us what you want to do. You want to take a break or you want to just keep going through the list? Well, if I'm not hearing nothing or seeing anything in the chat, I'm thinking that's kind of just go through the list. I'm very excited about our next performer, like very, very excited. I have wanted to see them perform live for quite some amount of time. And I know that they were working on an album a while ago, and I missed my opportunity to go see them in the studio because I was also in the studio at the same time, and we were on vacation at the same time, and it was really, really rough trying to figure out how to make all of that work. But without further ado, I don't want to take the shine, but please introduce the work that you're sharing. I know that you have a little bit of extra tech stuff going on than what's happened here. I'm hoping that you're ready to go, and if not, then as you're talking through, we can figure it out. But without further ado, Grace Hope, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Woo!
My hands are so sweaty. I'm kind of nervous. I'm like, if I was on a real stage, I don't know if I would be nervous, but I'm so glad to be here and take off my facilitator hat for a moment. Renaissance, thanks for holding it down. I'm really, really excited to share this song with you all. And I'm going to do like a little screen share moment in a second and get sound going. So thanks for your patience with me while Renaissance helps me get the volume just right. But I wanted to just share a teeny bit about the song before I share it. First of all, you're welcome to sing along. While I sing, I'd invite you to, there's only 2 notes in this song and 1 line, and it just kind of goes and goes and goes. I wrote this song last year as part of my new band, my new album. My band's called Loud Lust, and the album is, well, it's done. We're still mixing it, but hopefully it'll be out this fall. I'm working on live performance, but I've never performed this material before, except Shimona came over to the studio and got to catch a live performance. So other than that, this is going to be my first time sharing this. And I want to make a connection back to the story that Peter shared at the start of tonight around anger and feelings of anger towards fossil fuel executives. I think for me, as someone, I do a lot of work maybe trying to hide anger or maybe just not feel it or something other than anger. But as I was working on this album, I noticed a lot of anger coming out, which I guess is cool to let it come out. This particular track is where a lot of my anger at fossil fuel executives live. And so I kind of like, I don't know, I jokingly dedicate this song to like billionaires and fossil fuel executives because that's what I'm feeling. And again, thanks for like patience with how this might sound as we get the volume figured out. But I also welcome folks to like sing along if you're also feeling a little angry and a little ragey. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a little stuff here. Trying to get the volume so it's just like just in that sweet spot without being too horribly loud. So Renaissance, you can give me the thumbs up if it seems too loud or too quiet. Sorry, it makes me restart each time.
Steady it up just a little bit. Okay, I think that might be good. I want to say something.
Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless. It's endless. It's endless. Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless. It's endless. 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 Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless. Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless. Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless, endless, endless. Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless. Your dedication to death is endless. It's endless, endless, endless. Your dedication to death is endless. Thanks, everybody.
Oh my.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. Woo-hoo.
That worked really well.
Cool.
How do you feel?
More sweaty, but better. Just had to get that off my chest. Whew. Honestly, I've been practicing these Loud Less songs at home in the morning, usually before I get on Zoom with you all. So usually I've been yelling.
It's hard when, you know, everybody's in the microphone and you can't like control the peak volumes and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
raw.
Oof. Anyways, thanks y'all. I'll let you know when we have a live performance sometime this fall. Thanks for listening. Yeah, great question from Emily in the chat. We've got room for maybe one or two more pieces if anybody's feeling like, I really gotta share something. Emily's happy to work you in. We're so excited to have our first ever green room. How was this for folks tonight, by the way? Maybe like with a show of whatever you want to show. Hands, chat, noise. Hype for the live show. We're really excited to be able to do this live together. Yay, thanks for the feedback, Andrew.
I totally want to try a song.
All right. Renaissance, do you want to maybe close us out with a song?
I mean, I don't know if I want to be the close, but I have myself in there and I got it all queued up. That's why, one part of the reason I was like, how was it streaming a song?
It works.
I haven't performed hip hop in front of anybody in probably 10 or 12 years, maybe longer.
Okay.
So this will be my first time ever letting anybody really hear this song, like ever.
Well, Renaissance, we're thrilled to have you open us and close us out tonight. We're super thrilled for everyone who came tonight, whether you shared, whether you're an audience member. This was a really powerful event. We're excited to keep learning how to do these events on a regular basis. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's been here tonight. This has been pretty darn special. Maybe one of my favorite Zooms ever too, Nicole. Same. So with that, I want to invite folks to share some words of gratitude in the chat as Renaissance takes it away with our last piece of the night.
I mean, they could do it before I perform because the song's only like 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, cool. Share it in the chat now, or even just come off of mute and share any gratitude, appreciation, whatever you thought was awesome about tonight. We can just be chill about this.
I'm going to ask for the same favor after the celebrations are done about helping me make sure I get the volume in.
Okay, cool.
I followed your template and I put it in the Google Drive.
Nice.
How does this sound?
Can you talk over it so we can hear what it sounds like?
Check.
Yeah.
Is it all right?
Yeah.
It's going to get louder. This is a Ready Ron beat. Y'all, really glad y'all came out tonight. It's my first time ever doing this.
I'm gonna dance.
Stressing age lately like my days are come and gone. But when I really look at it, my life has just begun. Sometimes it's hard to see it cause I'm always on the run. It seems a little strange when I'm not staring down a gun. Screaming FTP cause they killed another one of us. Claiming it was just, but damn, ain't they killed enough of us? Yet while I'm stressing age, they won't see another day. How can life be so precious and yet gone in a blaze? All the things I take for granted like holding my niece, chopping my peeps, meeting folks in the streets, or the things that I think matter like dishes in the sink, a bed that wasn't made, a date that didn't link, my girl locked in her phone, COVID stuck me in a home, cut me off in traffic, all these things I've overblown, and now out of proportion with some added importance, my mind just out of focus from what I need to notice, cause no one has forever, well here we go, we better keep in mind, remember that my time with you is treasure, so I will endeavor to celebrate you whether or not we are together, cause no one has forever, yo, no one has forever, well here we go, we better keep in mind, remember that my time with you is treasure, and so I will endeavor to celebrate you whether or not we are together, cause no one has forever, gotta make the moments count, how I spend my days, and who I spend them with, cause really it just may be the last time that I see ya, or vice versa, yo, I want my time on earth to be something that will further your hope, your love, your happiness, to know that you were loved, and that your life matters before you turn to dust, don't need a hashtag to celebrate your life, but if you made a hash, be no end to the fight, cause it's not just that you die, but what you mean to me alive, the joy you bring my word each time you open up your eyes, cause really, what is it truly matter about a person? Surely not the little things come and gone in a moment, but your laughter, dreams, your smile, personality and style, that you're chilling with me and been here for a while. Some things come with age, and I mean more than grace, I mean having a real understanding, don't have a moment to waste, cause no one has forever, but here we go, we better keep in mind, remember that my time with you is treasure, and so I will endeavor to celebrate you whether or not we are together, cause no one has forever, yo, no one has forever, well here we go, we better keep in mind, remember that my time with you is treasure, and so I will endeavor to celebrate you whether or not we are together, cause no one has forever, yo, no one has forever, well here we go, we better keep in mind, remember that my time with you is treasure, and so I will endeavor to celebrate you whether or not we are together, cause no one has forever, yo, yo. No one has forever, ever, ever. No one has forever, ever, ever. No one has forever, ever, ever. I'm here to tell you that my time with you is treasure.
Woo!
Okay,
woo, woo.
going. You killing it like always. Going.
So powerful. So good. Oh, that was rad. Renaissance. Thank you.
I'm surprised I made it through that lyrics.
You should do like I do and just like, I'm just going to write one line and that's all I got to say over and over and over again. It's way easier, Renaissance.
But you have to remember the note. I just have to remember rhythm.
Yeah, look at all that love in the chat. Hey, I noticed that our buddy Audio Poet was able to join us. Welcome, Audio Poet. We've been sharing and it's been really great. Want to see if you're still thinking about maybe sharing a piece with us, Audio Poet. We may have a little bit more time. And also just want to welcome you into the space too.
1, 2.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I would love to share a piece with you. I didn't know what to expect, really. I have my piece. I did release a project a couple of years ago and put it on the internet called Missteps to Destiny. And it's, during the heart of COVID, so I didn't really have a lot of chance to perform it, but I do have some messages near and dear to me, and I definitely would love to perform a piece for you. I'm just gonna do it a cappella. Maybe next time I might be prepared more with music to go behind it and do a little dance for you or whatever it takes to, but I definitely, whenever you folks have time for me, it wouldn't take too long to share with you.
Yeah. Well, we're just kind of closing out, and I think maybe if you want to share a piece to close out our night.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'm really glad you're here. Like I was telling him earlier, I was like, we go back years, back to the Cornerstone time. Well,
yeah.
we've been swapping bars for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean, I ran into you at Black Wall Street when we were performing for Black Wall Street as the Ancient Robots. It's a band that I'm in. We've been together for like 8 years, but I'm going to share a piece with you. It's called Breathe. And it goes like this. The first part, it says, a tu llamada de la cortina final, espera el ángel de la muerte. ¿Qué memorias se iluminan en tu presencia que definan el propósito de tu vida? Cuando te haya liberado de todas tus penas y amor solo queda, puedes apartar en paz, sabiendo que todo valía la pena. Recuerda tus preciosos momentos. And what that means is, upon your final curtain's call, awaiting the angel of death, what memories do you take that define the purpose of your life? Will you be able to leave all of your valuables behind, knowing it was all worth it? Remember your precious moments. It's interesting. The little things we take for granted, turn our back to forget what we just can't seem to manage. The earth is bleeding out. Too much for me to bandage. It's disgusting what we've done to this planet. God damn it. But if she hasn't, give me the water for these seeds I planted. Watching weather patterns pass and praying for a chain reaction. It takes compassion waiting for the rain to happen. Disenchanted 9 to 5, that might be the main distraction. Take a moment just to catch your breath. What are the moments that you have to show the life you led? How have you learned? And if you changed on the times we've had, do you remember all the tears and all the times you bled? Has it been easy or rough throughout the love and the hurt? Where have you found peace of mind? How have you made things worse? Can you define these good days with your creative work and leave the wisdom in our history before we see the dirt? Breathe. Remember the fresh air. Breathe. Upon answers you seek, breathe. When life is easy with less care, when all is quiet and there's peace, breathe. Feel the beat of the drum, breathe. Let the words reach your lungs, breathe. Like you started off to run, never knowing where you're going, always knowing where you're from. with every breath, my content, my regret. I admit I have let some trials by with my neglect, but nevermore my time is yet. I absorb and I express what I see and how we live in the chance that I connect. Could this be life or death? Tell me how much time is left to finish goals that I have set. I'm getting old, no child yet, but that's all right because I have kept it moving through survival steps, trials and tribulations, steady maintenance of what I possess. Collecting keepsakes we take along the way. Space for impressions, imprinting every day. Inhale the respiration you'll forever recall. Exhale the restoration you take away from it all. Witness astonishment, reveal enlightenment, changing your consciousness. We feel alive again. Inhale, hold it in before the moment is gone. Exhale, listen to the words of the song and just breathe. Like it's your last breath. Breathe like it were life or death. Breathe like watching your seed when they stand to their feet to take a first step. Breathe. Living life by the moments. Breathe. Fight for what you love most. Breathe. Cherish the ones who are closest. Take it all in and hold these good times close and just hold them close, hold them close, hold them close. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Hold them close, hold them close, hold them close. Thank you.
Woo!
Taking
All
me
right,
back.
friends.
Woo!
All right, friends, let's make
Damn.
some noise. Let's make some noise.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Katie, I see your comment in the chat. Wow. So glad you got to be here, Audio Poet. What fabulous timing. What a powerful piece to close us out with. And yeah, what do you folks think? Should we try and do this green room thing again? Like maybe on a semi-regular basis, maybe even in real life?
IRL.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, let's come off of mute, make some noise, cheer one another on. And I just want to say huge, 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 huge gratitude to everybody who made this possible. Hannah, thanks for being here tonight, making this possible. Emily, thank you for all of your support and help making this possible. Renaissance, best co-host ever. High five. Let's do this again sometime. Okay, y'all.
Woo!
Woo!
Thank you, everyone.
We have a little bit to share, or has those already been dropped in
What's that?
to the chat, talking about like the public comment workshops that we got coming up?
Oh, yeah. Okay, we do have some really good stuff. I'm just gonna do one quick screen share back on my thing. And I think Renaissance, you might need to stop screen sharing for a second.
Am I still screen sharing? Oh, I might be audio sharing.
Here,
That's what it is.
I'm gonna
Just take control.
override you. Cool. Okay, friends. So we're almost at the tail end of the Healthy Through Heat and Smoke campaign. We're super excited to have a campaign celebration on Saturday, September 24th. But before that, we actually have to win this campaign. So let's do that together. We have a really big special date coming up on Wednesday, the 7th, the Northgate Community Center. This is our last opportunity to give public comment to almost the full city council before this parks levy gets voted on in mid-September. We've got costumes, we've got pageantry, a photo booth, press conference, all starting at 5. And we encourage folks to come out. We've also got a couple of virtual workshops on September 1st and September 6th. Thank you, Emily, for dropping links in the chat for all this kind of stuff. But we want to support you in figuring out how to turn your climate story, your climate experience, your own narrative into a compelling public comment that we can use to help win Green New Deal solutions for Seattle's community centers through the Healthy Through Heat and Smoke campaign. So thank you, Emily, for dropping all that in the chat. We hope to see folks on the 7th if you can make it out. I think I'm going to take the bus up from Tacoma.
Yeah. And in case anybody is unfamiliar with what we're working on and what the Green New Deal amendments are for the community centers, we're trying to turn the community centers into climate resiliency hubs within our communities. We'd like them to have the cooling that is necessary through electronic heat pumps to make sure that they stay cool and they stay green. We want HVAC improvements with a MERV rating of 13 to screen out both the smoke and the viruses so that people have a safe place to both work and visit to get away from the heat and can screen the smoke when we can't even be in our apartments, like the story that Peter was sharing earlier. We need places to go. And we want it built by folks in our communities. And so we're working through, community workforce agreements and stuff like that, community labor agreements, to make sure that the apprenticeships are hiring people that are in the communities next to the, the community centers where they're at. And we're hoping to have all of this done for all of the community centers. And we're really, really pushing on this. And so it's important that we win this for our people in the community, because we need to be able to cope with the climate disasters that are ahead of us while we're moving on this. And we're hope that this becomes a template that will be replicated in other cities, in other counties, not only in Washington, but throughout the rest of the country.
You do a little mic drop moment.
Boom.
And then there's a few of our partners that we're working with. Andrew, would you like to say anything? Not,
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was just going to jump in and say, it's great to turn these narratives and stories into public comment, but also, man, I was thinking dropping any of these poems or songs on a mic would be awesome. Like, no need to change anything. Just let them hear it. They'll understand in the context of what everyone else is saying. So I'd say, yeah, that'd be dope. I don't have my own song. I'm not brave enough, but someone here, if you're down, I think it'd be awesome.
My song is 2 minutes and 14 seconds long. Do you think
Watch them try to cut you off when you're doing that, Grace. I want to see them try.
Okay.
I think it all makes sense. It's all fun, and it all goes to the right place.
Yeah. What a powerful crew. What a powerful community we're building here. So great.
Yeah. I have a request for our coordinating crew, Hannah, Emily, Grace. Can we hang out for just a moment after everybody chimes off and debrief just a little bit for ourselves, so we don't need to convene again?
Sounds excellent.
To free everybody up. I loved having everybody here. This was a really beautiful event. I think it was better than any of us expected. Let's see who's here that performed. Audio Poet, that poet was fire. You were dropping bars. Really appreciated the way that you called it in. I love the multilingual. Nicole appreciated like the makeup walkthrough. Like I learned a whole bunch during that. Hannah, your piece like melted me. Dope. I'm looking forward to hearing some of your work, Emily, in the future.
Renaissance, your work was so powerful.
Thank you.
You need to tell us when you are performing that song.
I need to tell me when I'm performing. Y'all been asking me if I was going to perform for like 3 weeks, and I was like, I don't think so. I want to make space. And then I noticed that there was some space. I was like, I'm going to rap. All right, let's do this.
So cool.
And thanks to everybody that came and hung out and paid attention. Even if you like, especially if you didn't perform, like this is dope. And we're really trying to like build community within 350. And we thought that this would be a great way to do it. And you're helping us to do that. And so deeply grateful for you being here. It isn't a show if there isn't anybody watching. I think with that, we bid you all adieu. Unless there's anything that anybody else wants to share before we go into our little huddle up.
Great job, y'all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks for coming.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, Andrew's going to share next time. Sweet.
I'll try. I'm intimidated, but y'all were so brave and so good. So yeah, so cool. Such a cool event. So stoked on it.
Yay, glad you could come, Andrew.
Yeah, sorry I was late, but I'm so glad to be here.
A wizard is never late. A wizard always precisely when they intend to.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go back and watch the beginning. I'm excited to see the bits I missed.
Cool.
I guess we should stop the recording then.
Yeah,